The day we finally walked on it was celebrated worldwide as perhaps man's greatest achievement. We looked up and caught a glimpse of just how incredible our own planet was. We called her Mother Earth because she gave birth to us, and then we sucked her dry.
Oh.
The Interplanetary Podcast. The exploration of space for the benefit of all mankind. Your hosts here in London, Matthew Russell and Jamie Franklin.
I was liking it up until that.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a funny twist at the end, doesn't it, there? It's both a celebration and a warning.
Well, thank you, Jon Stewart. And,
Yeah. I didn't realise Jon Stewart was so into space, but he's written a book called Earth, A Visitor's Guide to the Human Race.
I've never read it, but I'd like to. I'd definitely never like to hear Sucked Her Dry again. Just makes me feel a bit queasy. How's everyone doing out there? Everyone okay?
Everyone okay in podcast land?
Because let us know if you're not, and we'll do what we can to help.
Check us out over on the interplanetary.org.uk.
It's the website literally tens of people are going to.
When you say tens, I'm presuming that should have been followed by millions.
I mean, sure, we could edit that
Yeah,
in, couldn't we?
I'll try and edit that in.
Yeah.
So what's been happening, Jamie, this week?
Well, I think we should talk a little bit about what's been happening in history.
Oh, okay. I'm going straight for history.
3rd of April, 1966, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
It's only Lunar 10.
Wow.
First artificial satellite around another world, e.g. our moon.
And as David Baker pointed out last week, that's with a capital M, the moon.
Thank you. Finally.
Yes. Yeah, the Soviet lunar program, which was a robotic spacecraft. First artificial satellite on another planet. Ever.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
1966.
Good year, that.
Vintage year.
We won the World Cup, Matt.
Yeah, we did. We actually did.
Imagine that. Might be done again in Russia.
Oh.
We're going to stick it to the Russians, Matt.
And we won the World Cup exactly 900 years after William the Conqueror.
I think it was planned.
I've never even noticed that before.
We're going to beat the Russians on their own soil.
That's if we get to go.
Be our way of saying, look, you can come over here, you can poison people, but you will never beat us at football.
You will never beat us at football.
I better be careful, Matt, or I might wake up with someone putting something in my marmite.
25 years ago, on the 8th of April, Jamie, was a flight that we've talked about before on this auspicious programme, was STS-56.
Oh, yes.
The second space flight of Michael Foale, but the first space flight of this week's Astronaut of the Week.
Oh, who we got?
Ellen Ochoa.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, so STS-56 was Space Shuttle Discovery.
Yes.
And it took up a Space Lab palette of experiments to look at Earth's ozone layer.
Okay.
Yeah. So, shall we talk about our Astronaut of the Week?
I think we absolutely should.
Cue the jingle.
It's time for
Astronaut of the Week. Ellen Ochoa, Jamie, was born on the 10th of May, 1958.
Good year.
When you hear about her, you just will go, okay, this is definition of overachievement, if ever there was one. So, yes.
Should we go through? Should we lay some stats
Let's lay
down?
some stats down. So, currently, she's the director of the Johnson Space Centre. That'd be enough for most people, wouldn't it?
Well, I mean, I think it would be. In 1993, she became the first Hispanic woman in the world to go to space when she served a 9-day mission aboard the shuttle Discovery.
Yeah, so she joins only 60 women, cosmonauts, astronauts, and payload specialists who've flown into space since 1963. So
incredible. A veteran of 4 space flights, she has logged nearly 1,000 hours in space. She was a mission specialist on STS-56 in 93 and payload commander on STS-66, which was Atlantis, and was a mission specialist and flight engineer on STS-96, which, as you know, Matt, was Discovery, and on STS-110 in 2002.
Yeah, which I believe was Atlantis as well. So she went Discovery, Atlantis, Discovery, Atlantis. That's quite cool, isn't it?
Sorry for saying 110.
Well, I think that's
okay. Of course, I'm
okay.
at 110.
Yeah, but I think with STS, I don't know how you say it. It's a bit like...
You can just roll with it.
I noticed that Americans call the microphone AKG 414. They call them the 414s, which was really annoying me this week. But anyway, that's really gone off topic.
Let's get back in.
Okay, so Ochoa was born in Los Angeles, but actually grew up in La Mesa in California.
So she graduated from Grossmont High School in El Cajon in 1975.
And then she got her Bachelor of Science degree from San Diego State University in physics. And she graduated, and this is really cool, the Phi Beta Kappa, which is an honour society for the liberal arts and sciences, and aims to promote and advocate excellence in the liberal arts and sciences to induct the most outstanding students at America's colleges and universities. Isn't that cool? So
wow.
she's already been noticed as a bit of a whiz.
That's super cool. So yeah, Master of Science degree in 1981 and doctorate in electrical engineering, both from Stanford University in 1985.
Doctoral student at Stanford and later researcher at Sandia National Laboratories and NASA Ames Research Facility.
And at that facility, Matt, she led a research group working primarily on optical systems for automated space exploration.
Get this. So while she was doing that, she's got a patent on an optical system that detects defects in repeating patterns.
Tick.
And is also a co-inventor of 3 other patents, all to do with optical inspection systems and the removal of noise from images. So she's got a few things under her belt.
She really has. Absolutely amazing. As chief of the Intelligent Systems Technology branch at Ames, she supervised 35 engineer scientists in the research and development of computational systems for aerospace missions.
Yes. So in 1990, she was selected by NASA and became an astronaut in 1991 in July.
Good choice, NASA.
Oh, yeah.
She served, since then she served as the crew responsible for flight software, computer hardware and robotics, assistant for space station to the chief of the astronaut office, and she was lead spacecraft communicator, Capcom, in mission control. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Well, when she was at mission control, of course, she was there during the Space Shuttle Columbia disaster. And she was one of the first people that was informed about the Columbia's disintegration as well.
Horrible.
Yep.
So from 2007, after retiring from spacecraft operations, she served as Deputy Director of the Johnson Space Center, helping to manage and direct the astronaut office and aircraft operations.
And in 2013, she's become the first Hispanic and second female director of the Johnson Space Center.
So in 2017, herself and Michael Foale were inducted into the Astronauts Hall of Fame.
Excellent. So she's married to Co-Fulmer Miles and has 2 children.
Aww.
And this is the bit I really like, is that she's a classical flutist and played with the Stanford Symphony Orchestra, receiving the Student Soloist Award. What the heck?
God, is there anything she can't do?
It doesn't sound like there is.
Do you think she plays jazz flute?
Yes, I hope so. And I believe quite a few other astronauts. Katie Coleman, another female astronaut, plays flute, I believe.
The instrument of choice.
Clearly.
So any of you flute players out there?
Right, so Jamie, I've got a really fun interview with Remco Timmermans, who is a space advocate, much like ourselves, and director of SpaceUp.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
So here it is. A good day.
Go.
The Interplanetary Podcast is alive!
I am joined, there's no Jamie unfortunately, but I'm joined by Remco Timmermans, who a lot of you will know because he's a space social media bod, and so he's always out there in cyberspace. Hello Remco, how are you?
Hello, Matt. I'm good, and you?
I'm absolutely knackered from from a complete week of work, but yes, I'm good. And yourself?
Fine. Similar to you, I've been travelling a lot, but you catch me at home right now, which is kind of a rare thing. But yep.
So whereabouts are you in the world?
Right now, I'm at home, which is Nijmegen, Netherlands, which for you space geeks out there is right in the middle of ESA ESTEC and the European Astronaut Centre. I live dead centre in the middle between those two ESA centres.
Was that by choice? Did you think you couldn't decide which one you wanted to be near?
Oh God, no. No, I wish I was nearer one of the two. That would make my space life a lot easier. The reason I travel is because there's absolutely nothing related to space where I live.
So, first of all, I've met you before via your SpaceUp. .org is how I've met you. Harriet
Yes.
Was with the Planetary Society in London and put on one of your Space Up events. And
Brilliant event. Yes.
Yeah, and it was absolutely brilliant. And can you tell us a little bit more about Space Up?
Absolutely. For those of you who don't know, I am the CEO of the SpaceUp Foundation, which is an organization that was established in the United States, a charity foundation a few years ago, to facilitate the series of SpaceUp unconferences that kind of in a viral way took over the world, if you like, since its first occurrence right now, about 7 or 8 years ago in the United States. That organization still exists and is as popular as ever. And we have quite a few events running all over the world right now. And SpaceUp is all about unconferences about space.
Explain what you mean by an unconference.
Yeah, an unconference is really a way to bring the coffee talks, the water cooler talks, whatever you want to call them, the informal networking part of traditional conferences that we all like best in traditional conferences, to bring that element of a conference onto the main stage and to really put the networking central and make everything else secondary. So what an unconference is, how it achieves that, is by basically starting with an empty agenda. So you invite a lot of people to talk about a certain subject in an empty agenda, and basically inviting people on the spot to determine together what to talk about and fill the grid, as we call it, in the beginning of the conference and even add on to it in the middle of the conference, and let the conference organize itself during the day or during the 2 days of the event. So really the participants in a SpaceUp conference become the speakers and the people who determine what's being talked about. A really powerful concept that we've seen growing since the first occurrence in Europe in 2012, a platform that is used by many people in many different countries to talk space.
It was really, really good for me when we were there. Obviously, all the topics that came up that people put on their little post-it notes on the board, and I was actually I moderated one of the rooms.
Oh, brilliant!
And which was real fun. It was just brilliant to have so many people who were so into space and had such a broad ideas about what space meant to them, and particularly when it came down to things like Mars colonization and space junk was quite a big one as well, you know. But Mars colonization seems to be the one that everyone really fascinates people.
Yeah, totally. And you know, and that's the nice thing about SpaceUp is that in the morning when you come, you never know what the main subjects will be and which topics excite people more than others, and it's just really fascinating to see how it develops itself and how it gets people motivated to talk about these subjects and to really get in touch with each other. So in that sense, and especially in London, where the concept was twisted a little bit from the normal concept, where the organizers decided to throw a number of topics that people put on the grid together in sort of a group discussion. I hadn't seen that in a SpaceUp before, and it kind of turned into a very interesting discussion rather than a set of short presentations that you also often see or Q&A sessions about a subject. And it was really interesting to see how that developed.
Oh, so that was actually slightly odd for a SpaceUp, was it? Because we also had the talks by the one talk I really remember was the one by the medical expert, which I thought was really, really fascinating. Yes. But yeah, so is that kind of the normal vibe of them then, or?
Yes, well, it is. The vibe obviously was there. It's all about exciting each other at space and talking about what matters to us most. And what you do see is to get the conversation going, and that worked really well in London. Just as an example, is they invited, and again that's done in most spaces. They invited a few we call VIP speakers, people who have a story to tell, and they're invited specifically to tell a specific story. And in London, there were a few. One was about medicine in space. I also remember one of the astronomers from the Greenwich Observatory was there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was brilliant.
He had a very good speech. And what they also did, what I thought was hilarious, was invite a comedian.
Yeah, John Coleshaw, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm sorry, I did forget the name, but yeah, it was him, and that was a brilliant interview that they set up, I guess, on stage. And the good thing of that is you have different people who all have a completely different angle to space that trigger others to say something and to come up with something. Okay, yeah, that triggers me to talk about this. So it's really a way to inspire people to think about space in a different way, and that really works well when you have a combination of a few of these expert speakers, if you like, together with all participants who then discuss a certain subject, and it's really surprising what can come out of it. And if I may say, what often happens, the way I see SpaceUp as being extremely useful and an extremely powerful contributor to the space industry in general, is that it's often a birthplace for ideas. Is when you put excited, enthusiastic people together and you inspire them to talk about certain subjects, to think about certain subjects, some very good and powerful ideas come out. And what we often see is, for example, that SpaceUp becomes a place where people find other people to, for example, start a business with. We've seen quite a few people who started at SpaceUp ended up in one of the business incubation centers of ESA, for example, with a good idea that they developed during SpaceUp, that they worked out at a startup event, at a hackathon type thing, which then slowly turned into a successful, or sometimes less successful, but often successful startup.
One of my favourite things, of course, is going to the pub with everyone afterwards, because it's those sort of events. Often the emphasis is on the talkers, and so that you don't really get chance to speak to the other people there. But I guess SpaceUp's all about like making everyone intermingle and talk to each other, and it was brilliant. I met so many fantastic people.
Yep, same here. So yeah, a day is usually too short, especially again the one in London. There were so many people that I would like to have spent a little bit more time with to talk about certain things, and the day was over in what felt like a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it was the first time that I'd got recognised as the host of the Interplanetary podcast. So I even had my ego strokes.
Well, that also serves a purpose, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, other than SpaceUp, I know that you're involved in millions of other things. What is there anything else you're particularly excited about?
Well, yes, in line with SpaceUp, as hopefully most of the listeners know, I'm quite active on social media, and I'm actually running my own social media agency specializing in doing social media campaigns for space. So in addition to my own account at Timmermans R on Twitter, I run, without barely anyone knowing, 25 other accounts for my clients and customers, all in the space industry. So I'm involved in quite a few things, and one of the things that, maybe I'm involved in more as a participant than as an organizer. That credit definitely goes to someone else. Is in the Copernicus program.
Right.
So I'm involved in a few events and things that happen in Copernicus, and one of the things that I really like best, in addition to Copernicus being having all the benefits to us in Europe that they intended with it, is the social events that ESA organizes around mainly the launch of these new Sentinel satellites. And I've been witness of two of these launch events. One took place in Darmstadt at the European Space Operations Center last year. Mm-hmm. for the Sentinel-2B launch, and another one was organized, last November, I believe, or could have been October, for the Sentinel-5P, the Tripoli launch.
I see. I keep seeing these on social media too late, and I go, "Oh no, I should have gone to that." Yes.
Well, keep an eye out to the Sentinel-3B launch that's happening at the end of April.
I'm writing it down.
Yeah, do so. We haven't seen the announcement yet, but ESA is bound to organise something. Again, I don't know what it will be, but the Sentinel-3B launch. End of April, I think it's April 25th that it's planned for right now. ESA organizes very interesting events for their social media followers. What NASA started to do quite a while ago, I think the first one was in 2009, which started as a NASA tweet up and then became the NASA social. And NASA's become very good at rallying their social media followers to become sort of citizen reporters for them and telling the story on their behalf. ESA is doing something very similar, and now specifically focusing on the Sentinel launches, where we've seen the last two events. And this whole phenomena of what on social media is now referred to as the Sentinerds popped up. And ESA has kind of taken that name. I forgot exactly where it came from, but someone coined that phrase. I think it was just before the Sentinel-2B launch. All these social media people who all got together to watch a Sentinel launch. They must be extreme space nerds. Let's call them Sentinerds. And ESA is now using that to basically promote the Sentinel program, the whole Copernicus program on social media very successfully.
I need to become a Sentinerd right now. I'm going on Twitter.
And yep. And to become the Sentinerd, you've got to have the T-shirt, and you will only get that if you attend one of those events.
Right, so, that's it. That's my mission. That's my mission now, to become a Sentinerd.
Yeah, brilliant. So just follow that hashtag on Twitter, and you'll see what it's all about. It's really fascinating to see how ESA uses the social media community to help them tell the great story of the ESA Sentinel satellites. And it's really interesting, especially since it's not related to human spaceflight. Telling the story about human spaceflight, because there's humans involved, there's human emotion involved, is often considered a little bit easier because it's a human story. And on social media is all about human stories. But when you send like a refrigerator type box into space with very complicated instruments on board, and it's all cold and technical, it becomes a lot more difficult. And by using the community that way, it becomes, I don't know, it becomes a more human, personal story somehow. And it's really cool to see how the Sentinerds in this case help tell that story.
Yeah, I one of my favourite ever space social media type things was ESA's Rosetta mission with all the little cartoons and the I absolutely love that. Just to clarify something for the listeners who don't know, Copernicus, am I right in saying that is Copernicus program is the Earth observation program that ESA run? That's right, isn't it?
More or less. It's yes. In essence, yes. The relationship between the European Commission and ESA is a little bit complicated, but basically the European Commission has commissioned ESA to launch and build the Sentinel satellites that are needed for the European Earth observation program that is better known as Copernicus. So it's a program that is commissioned and paid for by the European taxpayers through the European Commission. That is, the satellites are being designed, built, and launched by ESA.
So is Copernicus like the sort of governmental element of it, and the Sentinel satellites the delivery of that?
Well, yes, but ESA is also involved in delivering the data, and that's what makes it a little bit complicated for the average user to see, is this an ESA program, is this European Commission program? Well, it's a bit of both, because the European Commission has delegated much of the work to ESA, not just in the design, the building and the launch of these satellites, but also in the dissemination of the data. They really both have heavily involved, but it is officially a European Commission program.
I desperately need to become a Sentinerd and get my T-shirt, etc.
You do, exactly. And if you get the T-shirt, it will have the logo of the European Commission and ESA on it. So
wow. Well,
that brings it all together.
The double whammy.
Well,
I can wear it to my Brexit events. So,
how about we don't talk about that?
No, we just go. Well, yeah. Don't talk without crying. That's what I say. But is there anything else that you're involved in? You are a man of uber involvement in all this stuff.
Well, in a way, yes. My mainstay at the moment, I'd say, is the program that we're running this summer through the International Space University. I've been involved with the International Space University since I was a student, basically, at age 42. Hopefully without revealing too much about my real age. But I was a student a long time ago at the International Space University, where I did the 9 weeks Space Studies program. And I've been involved ever since. And this year, I'm really, really lucky to be part of the local organizing committee for the Space Studies program in 2018, which is going to take place in the Netherlands. So for all of you who are looking to expand your space knowledge, then the Space University is definitely something to look at. But also for those who are not necessarily looking to be a student again in a very high-pressure program for 9 weeks during the summer, we are in parallel using many of the space people who are visiting the Netherlands this year, organizing what we call the Sizzling Summer of Space, which is a series of public events featuring astronauts, featuring heads of agency, featuring all kinds of interesting and cool people involved in traditional space and new space in the Netherlands throughout the summer. So very soon there will be a website, sizzlingsummerofspace.nl, where you will find the complete agenda of all these public events. That doesn't only include lectures, but it also includes activities like robotic competition. You can attend a real rocket launch. There are workshops, there are speakers, there are competitions. There's a lot of stuff going on in the Netherlands this summer that I think is very interesting for a very wide audience. We specifically think of children, primary school, high school age students, but really for everyone. There will be something to do. So if your summer holiday brings you to the Netherlands, perhaps then there will be a lot of space events for you to attend.
Consider me there. That sounds like it's unmissable. I can try and wrestle people for some interviews for the podcast. That'd be good.
Oh, definitely. Oh, there will be. That's the interesting thing about the program. We'll have about 125 participants. That we could call students, but we don't, because this is really professional education that we're involved in. But for these 125 participants, we have over 200 lecturers and teachers. So the student-to-teacher ratio at ISU is really opposite from what it is in most universities.
Yeah.
But it also means that we bring together a lot of VIPs, interesting people that don't often visit this part of the world, and we have them at our disposal, and we ask these people to help us fill in all these public events so that the public can meet all of them and learn something new about space from all these people that are visiting the Netherlands anyway.
Yeah, you've got a lot going on. So thank you very much for coming on and talking to me.
Absolutely, it was my pleasure.
And opening my eyes to a few events that now I have to dig deep into my Patreon purse and use that well-earned money to come over and...
well, whatever way you can make it work. Yes, brilliant.
Absolutely. I can't wait. Thanks very much for taking the time and taking up my Skype call.
Yeah, you are more than welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
What a lovely, lovely chap Remco is.
Incredible scenes.
So when we're over in Holland, we should get Remco out for a drink. Be cool
for a pint of Heineken.
Jamie, let me tell you something else that's going on in the news.
Go on then.
So nightmarishly this week, NASA has announced that there's going to be even more delays on the James Webb Telescope.
Oh.
And it's not going to launch until May 2020 at the earliest, and it's probably going to cost more than the $8 billion that Congress has put a cap on. So they might have to go back to Congress to get the thing ratified again.
Oh.
So in better news, however, ESA have managed to test the parachute of the ExoMars 2020 mission. So that is a 35-metre diameter parachute. And that was tested in Kiruna in Sweden earlier this month. So yeah, it's 195 kilograms of parachute with 5 kilometres of cords, and it takes about 3 days to fold this thing up.
I love that.
So it is a beast of a parachute. So well done, ESA.
I'd like you to give me a space fact, Matt.
Only a couple of weeks ago, NASA announced that the MU-69, which we've talked a lot about on the show because it's where New Horizons is going next, is going to be nicknamed Ultima Thule.
Is it Thule or Thule?
Well, it's spelt Thule, but it's pronounced Thule.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a Greek thing. And I've been looking this up. So it's a Greek or Roman thing. So the territory that's most sort of located beyond the borders of the known world. So the kind of country at the top of the map, I suppose, the most northern country is called Ultima Thule.
I love that.
So that's what they've called it because, of course, in some ways it's the furthest away object we've ever been to.
Do you know what, Matt? When I was in Iceland, they had a local beer called Thule.
Ah.
And it was one of the most delicious beers I've ever had.
Well, of course, Iceland was, in the late Middle Ages and early modern era, known as Thule. So there you go.
No way, it's all coming round.
And Greenland was known as Ultima Thule.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Now you know why it was called that.
I might order some online.
But yeah, it can refer to Orkney, Shetland, an island off Estonia, and a Norwegian island, Smøla.
Well, butter my snips.
Yeah, I really like that. So Hubble discovered MU-69 back in 2014 when they were looking for the next target for New Horizons to fly by. And since then, it's turned out that it's almost certainly going to be a primordial binary.
Oh, you know I love that.
In other words, 2 large objects, 12 miles and 11 miles in diameter. So they're big old things, these things.
And listeners, if anyone doesn't understand primordial binary, then please just tweet me. Yeah, just at me and use the hashtag.
And Jamie will explain all.
I'll explain everything you need to know.
And did you know, Jamie, it's the smallest object to have its colour measured.
Really?
It's red. It's got a red spectrum.
I was going to say, what colours are we talking about?
I think
just
it's red. I literally can't wait for the 1st of January 2019. It's going to be so exciting, that one.
I think it will be exciting. I'm going to agree with you.
How ace was Pluto?
Oh, don't. Ridiculous.
So, Ultima Thule was actually named by 115,000 people who took part in a NASA campaign to get it named. They narrowed it down to 29 names, and that was the final one. 40 members of the public nominated that particular one. So there we go. A Thule.
Well, I like it. I'm banking that.
So Jamie,
yes.
What could our listeners do if they wanted to support the podcast?
Well, I think everyone's hooked up these days. They're all on the internet.
What is this internet you talk about?
What I'd do is I'd go to a search engine called Google.com and I'd just go to the little bar and I'd type in www.interplanetary.org.uk.
In fact, do you know what? You could go into Google and just type the Interplanetary Podcast.
It doesn't just come straight up, does it, Matt?
We own that search. I tell you, we own it.
I mean, because I know that there's so many different interplanetary podcasts, but, we're the best one.
Yeah, and if you wanted to hear, like, our interview with Mike Foale, then you could just type in the Interplanetary Podcast Mike Foale, and it will definitely bring up the episodes where we discuss him.
Matt, what if I'm a new listener and everyone's raving, all the old loyal listeners are raving about our Brian Blessed podcast? What could I do?
I think you could do the same. I think you could just type the Interplanetary Podcast Brian Blessed.
Wait a minute, you've got past episodes that I can still hear. They don't disappear.
No, they don't disappear, Jamie. They're always there.
Matt, what if after
over
listening
70
to that
of them.
Brian Blessed podcast that I want to maybe donate a few pounds a month? What do I do?
Wow. Well, you could go over to Patreon and go to Patreon/Interplanetary and just find us there. Or go to our website and just click on the Patreon badge, go in, donate £200 a month. I think that sounds about right. And then
That's about right.
Bob's your uncle.
Fanny's
And
your aunt.
get this, we run a monthly competition for someone to go to iTunes and write the best review, and if they leave us their address on our website, we will send the best review an Interplanetary Podcast mug, one of the most sought after bits of merch you'll ever come across.
It's the piece of porcelain that is most favoured in this solar system.
Wow.
I'm going to throw that stat out there, and I don't think anyone could contest it.
It's a great stat. Thank you very much for joining us, Space Podcasts. It's been our pleasure to talk to you.
It's been another wonderful week. Please take care of yourself and the planets.
That's beautiful, Jamie. Bye-bye.
See you.